Okay, so as I said, we started HTML in last class, and just a very quick overview. We have discussed all these things before that, and we have seen different kind of text sections. We have seen different kinds of content sections. We have seen different kind of inline text, and then towards the end, when we were just ending, I told you about the linking, that how you can just link your document to some external resources, like again, the likes of Google or something, or how you can link your document with something like, in a document that you have created by yourself. And you remember that we created those files and we have done work on that. So now today, what I'll do is that I will create a new file for today, right? And I'll call it, for example, with today's date, I'll call it fab10.html. So I will be now today working on fab10.html. And mind you, as I told you, that we'll be doing some real fun part over there. And for those who remember, for those who have seen the video, for those who were there in the lecture, this is a shortcut to just bring up a complete HTML document. This is HTML document, and remember, I have not discussed these two lines, which are very important, and I will talk about them at the due time. But right now, I just remove that, and again, I just remove that one without any reason. It's not mandatory to just remove that. So today's document, I'll give a title, February 10, 2022. This is our title for the document. And by the way, I'll just tell you a few very interesting things. So this is the body of our HTML document where we want to work on. So I'll start from a very important discussion, a very important observation that we did. And we have talked about some heading levels, if you remember. So if you remember, we have talked about a heading level H1, and we have talked about most of them. So now today I'll tell you that what is basically this H1 and how do you use it for the typical purpose of your website. So main heading, I'm just calling it main heading. Now this is my document, and if you remember how to run that, right click and open with live server. Open with live server, and you will get your document running. Okay, so today, as I said, I will be working on this Fab10, and we will be just, alongside, I will be creating a document that you will run through with me, and we will talk about that. Now, remember this H1 to H6. You remember we had 6 heading levels. So this is our title of the document. So we had 6 heading levels. So I wanted to tell you that there is a very important semantic relationship between H1, H2, H3, and H6. And I have given this a slight idea in my last lecture as well, but that was not a very clear idea. So that's why I'm just giving you another interesting idea. Okay, someone has joined right now, D9045, D93. How would I find your attendance over there? So please, whenever you join it, rename yourself to something understandable. And I can see someone who has just joined at D9055, D93. I don't know you are present or not, or who are you? So you need to rename yourself, by the way, right? So anyhow, so we are talking about this H1 and H2. So if you remember, we have talked about in HTML, we have talked about that HTML semantically and syntactically creates our document. You remember, semantically and syntactically. Now today I will tell you a very important syntactical issue. Now H1 to H6, you remember that the last heading level was H6, and this is the lowest heading that we talk about. The lowest heading is H6. So you remember H6. So now, when we say an HTML document semantics, we are talking about the screen readers. We are talking about the softwares that might come on server to run our websites. It's a very important issue. In an HTML document, usually the most main important heading is always given as H1. Be it a very interesting fact. Be it sometimes you will find that H1's font will be smaller, because we can change its font by using CSS and all those things, which we are not doing right now. But CSS is capable of changing the font size. CSS is capable of changing the colors. CSS is capable of changing all those things. Even though that is there, but H1 will always be the most main heading of a main page. Now, what happens if some subheadings come? A subheading comes. So for example, if I say that H1 always will be a main heading, so the subheading will always be a H2. A subheading will always be an H2. Now, please remember. So I will call it subheading 1. You know why? Because I want to give you some very interesting fact. Subheading 1. Oh. Subheading 1, right? So this is my subheading 1. Now, if I want to give a heading inside this subheading, for example, there is a heading that comes inside this subheading, you know, semantically what I'll say, I'll give this one. So for example, I can say subheading 1.1. You know what I mean? This heading is inside 1, so it will be 1.1. Now, if I want to give another subheading for this subheading 1, I will say, okay, again, I will give H3. I want you to understand this very important concept. So I'll say, okay, 1.2. Are you getting that? So all those subheadings that will come under this one, I will always give them H3. Is that making sense to everyone? Because this is a very important concept. Whatever is you're creating your document, you have to make it semantically also very synchronized. So if you see here that all those subheadings that will come under this H2, they will all be H3. Now a question. This subheading 1 is now complete. It had only 3 parts. I want to give another subheading for this main heading. Which tag I should use over here? Question. So again, I want to give a sibling heading for this subheading 1, which will be subheading 2. So which will, yes, for me, that's wonderful. I will use H2 over there. And I'll say subheading 2, I will call that one. Are you understanding that this H1, H2 is just not only for the sizing issue? They are very important there, and they will tell me structurally how my document has been planned according to that one. So now, another important question. If I want to make a subheading 2.1, which tag should be used? Not Pavneet, anyone else. Which tag should be used if I say 2.1? I want to create 2.1. What should I use? Semantically, what tag I will use over here? It looks like bad, right? Lenny, that's wonderful. It has to come under H3. You know, it has to come under H3, and I will just place it under H3. And then same goes with another for 2.2. So if I have subheading 2.2, I'll place that like that. And again, the same problem. If I have another subheading for this main heading, which is subheading 3, it will definitely come in H2. So are you getting the concept what I'm trying to deliver over here? So it's basically it's not only H1 and H2 they are there for the sizing, but they are there for very important semantic understanding issues. Understood, everyone? Can I get some feedback from everyone? That semantically you need to always organize your headings. And when I say semantically, it might not be understandable by everyone. I'll just discuss that. Semantical understanding or semantically arranging a document means that a document, when someone from the outside world, some machine comes to read that, some machine reader, you know, there are screen readers, there are lots of screen readers, there are scrollers that will come. When they will come to your document, they will come to know, okay, the H1 will always be the most main heading of the page. H2 will always be a subheading of the main page. H3 will be, you know what I mean? So they will understand the content's importance with respect to their elements or tags. I'm waiting for the feedback. No feedback. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That this H2, H3, and H1, they are very important, and you need to keep them semantically organized in a way that everyone tells you that, okay, which heading is starting at what point. I'm still not getting any. Okay, that's wonderful, Sabine. Thank you very much. And I will be just removing this all H1, H2, H3s over here, and I will be trying to create an article over here. And you would definitely love that because I will be using lots of interesting tags over here that you will see that you can use those tags in your document. So let's start with that one. I have just saved this one. I have just given. Let me save that. So I just have this main heading, right? So think about it. Can you adjust your mic so voice to be clear? Okay. Okay. So probably how about it now? Probably is it any better? Okay. Yes. Thank you. So probably always let me know. Now listen about that. I will be discussing some different aspects of the tags, and for that, what I'll do is that I will just practice what I have said. So, for example, H1 is the main heading for our article, and now I would like to talk about that. If I want to give another heading, and that heading is, for example, I want to give an address. If you want to define or if you want to give an address, HTML has a semantic tag for that one. That's a very interesting fact. Let me tell you. Address. If you want to write any address, so for example, if I write, I want to write the address of like Seneca College, for example. So there is a tag for that one, and that tag is address tag. So I will write, for example, Finch Avenue, whatever, Finch Avenue East, North York, and whatever, right? So Ontario, and I can just give N2E142, whatever, that one. Now, very important thing. This address, which is mentioned over here, this address is inside address tag. Now, are you understanding the importance of semantics of the tag? That when some screen reader will come and read my article, they will definitely know that what is written inside that one. You know what I mean? If I write it in paragraph, how would you recognize that what is written inside? But if it is inside address tag, the screen reader or the machine that is coming to read my website, that will say, okay, I understand that now something will be followed is an address over. Make sense to everyone? Now, another important thing about it. If I want this Ontario and this postal code in the next line, if I hit enter and I save this, even though my printer is not even allowing, and it's basically coming over there. So how would it come in, on the downside? In HTML, it does not come in by itself. Rather, we need to use a BR tag. BR is basically line break tag, and this line break will break the line. And now Ontario N2E142 will come basically on the next line. So BR, remember line break. This BR is called line break. Is that right? Right. Okay. So then I want to I've just given the address, for example, someone's address. And after the address, I want to give some text. For example, I would like to give some text. So I'll say, okay, again, H2. So remember, H2. Why H2? Because this has to be a subheading of my main heading. You remember? This has to be semantically the subheading of my main heading. And now I want to bring this text over here. You remember that we can bring this text by using lorem. So if I say P paragraph, or for example, let's do not be P. You just write lorem and hit enter. You will get some text over here. And if I write again lorem here and hit enter, I'll get two texts. But do you see? That all of them are mixed together? Okay, I give one more lorem here, one more lorem here. If I do that, you see everything is mashed together. Even though I wanted to have 3 paragraphs over here, but these paragraphs are not appearing by itself. I'm giving another lorem. So you see here, another lorem. But they are not coming as paragraph. And why they are not coming as paragraph? Because HTML automatically does not know what is paragraph. I need to tell it about the paragraph. So I'll come over here and I'll put a P tag, right? And I'll cut this ending P tag from here, and I'll see that whereby this paragraph should end. So for example, I want this paragraph to end over here. There it is, whatever it is written. I'll just paste this over here. Now see on the right side of the picture, what happens? Now it becomes one paragraph. Is that right? Now I would like to, Gautam is facing audio issues. Is that everyone facing audio issues from my side? Me and consultant? Oh, Clev, you say that there is an audio issue, breaking sometimes. Okay, let me see, my internet connection is fine. Subin, is it breaking too much? Sometimes, okay. But it's okay now. Okay, Subin, okay, Claire and Gautam, let me know whenever it again happens. Maybe I'll just try something else, right? Or Subin, you also please let me know that if something is happening. Okay, right. So now I have to make, if I have to make a paragraph or something, I'll have to create a p tag, and I will end this p tag where I want paragraph to end. You see, for example, this paragraph is ending at this point. So, for example, I'll come over here and I'll write NP. You see, now I have two paragraphs over here. Is that right? Same goes over here. Now I want to create another paragraph. So I create a p tag, and I'll cut this p, like ending p. And of course, I'll just take it somewhere where this URL is starting again. I paste that here. So you see, now I have a paragraph. Do you see that paragraphing, how we are creating these paragraphs? And even last one, I'll give it a paragraph over here. Why? Because I want to have proper paragraphing in my text. Okay, so understand again. Now this is all the text that I wanted to bring. Again, for my article, this is all the text that I wanted to bring over. Right? So now let's move forward. Now I want to give date and time, and I will be giving all these things in the top. So before address, I want to give date and time. So for example, I come over here. So which tag I should use? Yes, date and time. So I should again use H2. Remember, I'll say date and time. Now remember, for date and time, there is another very interesting tag that we have, and that tag is time tag. But time tag does not appear automatically. That's a problem with time tag. I don't know why it's not issued. For example, if I just write time and I hit enter, it does not give me the time. So you need to type the time as a tag, as an element, right? So time. Now in the time, I can give this time. So 2022 for today, and I will say, for example, 02 and 10. So 10th February 2022. I'm just giving this one. Are you getting that? So now you see here that I have given this one, and let's save that. So you see that it is appearing. And of course you will say that it does not look like anything special about that. But you know why? What is special about that? That if a screen reader comes and read my website, they will read, okay, this one is a time given, a day given, or a date given. Something is giving over there. Why? Because this is inside the time. And this time has different attributes as well. So for example, if I write time, and in the time I want to say, for example, yesterday. So for yesterday, today is 10th February. For yesterday, what will be the date for the yesterday? It would be February 9, right? So we can give an attribute over here. I can say date time. This is an attribute. Inside date time, I'll say 2022 dash 02 dash 09. Is that making sense to you? And now, since they are coming in the same line, I will have to just make a BR. So yesterday. Now, do you see that I am telling our screen reader that when you say yesterday means I'm talking about 9th February 2020. Is it making sense now? So this is yesterday, and even we can use another thing for that one. Let's put time, and I say, for example, tomorrow at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. whatever. If I say tomorrow at 6 p.m. Now see here, if I want to say tomorrow at 6 p.m. okay, first of all I need a line break, because time does not give me a line break. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Now, how I would mention tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'll come here and I say date time equal to 2022 02 dash 11. Now I can even give this one space, and I'm saying 6 p.m. So I'll say Can you hear now? Yeah. So please bear with me. Looks like my internet is having some jerks today. So please bear with me. Am I good now? Everything, Vinny? You said yes. Okay. Thank you, Vinny. Claire, thank you. Yes. So someone else should also jump in. So I stopped at line 13. Okay. So line 13 is nothing, but I'm just saying you that if you see Vinny, that I'm talking about that now, if a screen reader will come, that will know that what I'm talking about. That this article was written on February 10th, and a day before February 10th, this was 9th February. Oh, my screen is not shared. Okay. 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 I'm sorry about that. Subin, am I back now? Okay, so it looks like there is something seriously wrong with my internet today. Please bear with me. And okay, so thank you very much. I'm sharing my screen now. Looks like hopefully now will be good. But if something else happens, please let me know. Okay, now am I back with all these things? Can you see my screen also, Subhi? Really? My screen is available to you? Okay, that's good. Wonderful. Wonderful. So if I stop over there, I'm just saying this once more. So I talked about this that this date and time is basically giving that same thing. Now after date and time, there are some other attributes as well. There is something else as well. So I am saying there is one called abbreviations, and these are very interesting abbreviations. I talk about what does that abbreviations mean. So if I write, for example, HTML, and if I so this is just taking HTML, and if I write, for example, CSS. For example, HTML and CSS. Now, to give user a very important, to give user a very important that what this HTML is about, I have a tag which is called ABBR. So what I'll do is that I'll just first of all do that, and I'll write ABBR. It's a tag, and title is equal to C hypertext markup language, hypertext markup language, and I will write HTML over here. In the same way, I'll write another ABBR, and I'll say ABB, and I'll say cascading style sheets. Oh, hello, hello. I hope we have not missed anyone. So can anyone just hi? Navneet, I'm sorry. So it's rather a dramatic something has happened with my internet, and I don't know what's going on. It's all messed up. So but what I have done is that hopefully I have just arranged something for the time being, and I hope that I will be able to just continue with that one. Uh, let's see that how can we just do about it. But I am expecting that now I would be good with that one, right? So I'm sorry about that, and I'll just share my screen now, and I wanted to just let you know that there is something very wrong with my internet. So if I get disconnected by now, like if now I get disconnected, I would consider you should consider it as a postponement of the class for today. Why? Because of course, it does not look good that how we can just continue about that one. But anyhow, I'll try my best that now it won't be interrupted, and hopefully it won't be interrupted now. So let me share my screen. And as I said, if you now find me like having some problem, so just consider it postponed class for today, right? I will just adjust that later on by something, right? So can you see my screen now, Kuldeep? Can you all see my screen now? Okay. So Pavneet says when I'm typing lorem, yeah. So it's just in Pavneet. I'll just let you know. So Pavneet, in any area you go, for example, in any area you go and just you write lorem. So when you are writing lorem, you see that this Emmet abbreviation is written in front of that one as well. So if that is coming, you will hit enter and then that text will appear. You know what I mean? You just try it on in any empty area of your document. I hope that will work for you. All right, Pavneet? Okay. So no, no, it's not necessarily you have to write in p tag. You can write it anywhere, and it will just when you just hit enter, it will appear. The text will appear for you, right? Okay. So now let's continue with that one. Now there are some other tags as well, some other codes as well. So basically, if I talk about, there is another tag for writing code. That's very interesting. So for example, you remember or you have done printf in C language, for example. If I write %d and I write x, so you are familiar with this type of code. So when I've written down this code, you see that it looks like very odd, very sluggish type of code. Rather, we have got a tag in HTML that if you write that tag, what is that tag? It is code one. So if I put this all inside code tag, you will see that now this code looks like really code. So the font has changed, and not only that, this font has changed, but also as I said, for the screen readers, for everything, it will be telling it that the something that is followed by is basically is basically a code written in any of the programming language. You know what I mean? This is called code. So I can just write this code as well, right? And now after that code, there are another important aspects of that one. And what are those? Let me just make it again to 100%. And what are those important aspects? One of them is super and sub. So I'll write that in H2 again. Super and subheadings. Our application tag has not got complete. Okay, complete. So I just stopped there when you were doing on that one. So internet was stopped over there. So you see here, I can just give you this code over there. Okay, no problem. So I'm giving you this code. This is very easy, and you see that if you use this one, abbreviations ABBR title is equal to. So you give the title, the complete text, and then what you do is that you just put up the text over there, HTML or whatever, and you will get the idea of that. Let me know, Pavneet and everyone, if you are able to do that because I have shared the code also. You can just do that by using this code also. Okay, so now I'm talking about super and subheadings. And this is very interesting. If I want to print, for example, the formula for water, H2O, right? And I write that. So of course it will come like this. But you know that I want it to be as a superscript. So what I'll do, let's put it somewhere. That what I'll do that, for example, I'll put that in paragraph, and I will say, for example, H, and then I will say subscript, sub tag, and in that I'll write in 2, and then after that I will write an O. So now see here, H2O has appeared because 2 has gone as a subheading. In the same way, if I want to write if I want to write x square, I'll write a P, I'll say x, and then I want to put a 2 as a square. So I'll say super, SUP super, and I as x cube or x to the power 4, whatever, x cube, let's take this one. So if I do that something like this, you will see that now it is appearing as x3, the x to the power 3. Everyone got that? This is subheading and superheading or something, superscript and subscript. That's wonderful. Right. Now, after that, I want to discuss one more thing over here, and that is called H2, and that is called codes. How you define codes. And we have talked about one of the codes as well before, but we will see that there are some other type or one more type of the code that we can use. So for example, if I want to write this is a code. So if I want to write this is a code, I will write a Q tag. So for example, I'll start with a paragraph. I'll just give a paragraph, and I say this is a. So now if I want to give a code, I will write a Q as a tag. So this is a Q tag, and I will write, for example, over here, this is a code. Now see what happens on the right side. The code comes in under, like, in double quotations. You know what I mean? So it's basically doing what? This Q is producing a double quotation, or this double quotations, or whatever you call it, inverted commas, right? So it is the double quotations over here. Now, not only that, we have another one which is called block code. You remember we have talked about block code before? So I can say block code. Block code. And what block code I want to say, for example, I see and I forget. Okay, I'm just forgetting that proverb that is from Chinese. I see and I forget. No, I hear and I forget. Sorry. I hear and I forget. Okay, I see and I remember. I do and I understand, right? Something like that. So it's a proverb, right? So it's a block code that is coming over there. So you see that block code comes a bit offset from the right side, from the left side, and it is another form of quotations that we can just keep. Right? Are you getting that? Other than that, there are some other aspects of that as well. So one of the aspects is, for example, you want to know emphasis. How to emphasize the text. In good old days, we used to use this bold tag and something like that, but now we don't use the bold tag. Rather, we use something different. So first of all, the first tag that we use, for example, paragraph, I'm just writing a lorem. Again, I'm just bringing up some text over here, and I'll talk about it. So if you want to emphasize on lorem, what you'll do, there is a tag em, emphasize. So I can just cut that and I can just put that over here. So you see that lorem will be emphasized. Do you see that lorem is italicized a bit? Not only that, we have another one which is called strong. So if I want to make this dollar word strong, so I'll say strong. Strong tag is another very interesting one. So I'll just cut this strong from here. And for example, dollar sit, whatever, yeah, like I want to make it till this point. So I'll do that, and you see that in my text, this is basically italicized, and this is strong. Now we used to have bold and italic, E and I, And now we use EM for making, italicizing in HTML, and we use strong for representing the strong text. Now this strong is very important and very interesting. When a screen reader and someone, a handicapped, is looking at your website, is trying to read your website, when that reader will come over here, that the automatic reader will come to strong tag and will say, okay, I have to say this $sit in a very strong tone. Because why? Because I want like the handicapped person who is looking at the web, who is not looking at the website, they must know that this area is basically highly emphasized by someone. So this $sit is a strong word. Lorem is basically also emphasized in a different way. You know what I mean? So that's basically one of the way of representing the text and all those things. Right. Now I would like to talk about something very, very interesting. And here we will just use some more things. I want to talk about media. How to embed the media in your HTML page. Now, when we have come to media, this is very interesting. Media can be different. One of the media can be images. Can anyone tell me, first of all, I'll discuss images, then I'll discuss audio, then I'll discuss video. So can anyone tell me which tag I should use to give heading images, which is the subheading of media? Which will be the subheading of media? Which tag should I use here? Like, from heading. No. From heading, which tag I should use? I want to give heading images. Clef, it's not about, I'm not asking which tag should be used for bringing up images. H3, you understand? Yes, that's wonderful. H3, and I'll say images. I want to talk about images. So you see that this images becomes, this was the topic that I discussed at the start, that this becomes H2 and this becomes H3, and now this is basically this is the subheading, because after that I will be talking about audio. So when I'll talk about audio, I'll just put that in but this one. And when I'll talk about video, I'll just talk about this video like this. So these all will become the subheadings of this media. Constantine, that makes sense? This is a very interesting one. And this is the one example that you can use. Right, so let's first of all talk about images. I'll first talk about images. So to bring images, the tag that is used, as Clive has mentioned, the tag which is used is IMG. IMG SRC. Now, IMG SRC also accepts two types of paths. One of them is called relative path. If you have put your picture in the folder, in the same folder, it will be a relative path for you. And if you are taking a picture from, for example, some online resource, let me just show you, unsplash.com, for example. This is unsplash.com, and I told you that this is, if I've not told you, this is a very important, interesting website that you can use. The pictures are available for free, and you can just you need to just attribute them. So, for example, if I say tree, so let's bring up some tree pictures. So you see, these are all the tree pictures. And for example, if I select this one, I open this up and I right click and I say copy image address. So if I copy this image address, and I come over here, and in SRC, I paste this address. You see that this picture has appeared on my page. So this is an absolute path that is coming from. Now, it is coming up very big, so I can do width. And if I just give width, of course, it will adjust the height according to the ratio. It will accept the height. So you see that now I have given this 300 width. So now this picture is coming. So image has SRC attribute, image has alt attribute. This alt attribute is very interesting. If this picture does not appear because of some reason, this alt text appears over there. You see tree, because I have just I just messed up my URL. So if I just give the right URL, you have this picture in front of you. This picture is running. Alt attribute is there, alternate. If the picture does not appear, just show the alternate text to the user. Right, everyone? So this is basically what? This is the picture, this is the images that we are talking about. Now, you see width. Width is very important, and you give the picture a width, and that width will be working for you. Okay, I just forgot one thing, and I will talk about that later on, but I just forgot something. But anyhow, so pictures can come. So this is picture that is coming from online. So I'm taking It's an absolute URL. Now, this same can happen with some picture if you download that picture. For example, if I bring this one or maybe this one, I download this picture in the small size, the smallest size, and I go to my download. I go to my downloads and I take this picture, Control X. I've cut that picture and I'll paste this in my working folder, right? The folder where I am working right now. So I want to bring that in my working folder, and I'll show you shortly. I'll show you in this week 5 folder. I'll just copy and paste this one, and I will rename it with, for example, free.jpg. It's free.jpg. Now you see here in my files. Do you see free.jpg? I've just pasted that in my folder, in my working folder, right? So now, if that is the picture, how can I bring that on my document? That's very simple. I'll come over here and I'll write another img. src is equal to, now I have free.jpg, and again I'll say free2, and also I'll give what width, because it will have a bigger width or maybe smaller one. So I'll try to make it as good as 300 pixels. So you see that this picture has also appeared. So this is a relative URL because this is in my folder, and this picture is coming from from online resource. So that's why it is basically an absolute URL over here. Good, everyone. So these are related to pictures. Now, after that, I want to talk about audio, or I would not talk about audio. I'll leave audio for you, all of you. And I'll talk about videos, because videos is another very interesting. I'll just keeping video before and audio afterwards. Now, how to run a video? This is another important aspect. Now, to run video can also be embedded from maybe, for example, YouTube, for somewhere else. But first, I will tell you how you can run your own video. So if you have any video in your system, I will just bring any of the video, small video if I have, or maybe I usually have my own lectures. I'll bring one of my lecture. I find a recording somewhere. Yes, I find one recording. Even though this will be a very bigger, file, but I'll bring that. And then let me just call this one video. And I am bringing that video file again in my working folder, the same folder where we are working. Week 5, and I'll show you that by the way. I've copied that one, and if you see that video.mp4 is there for me, right? So you can copy that in your folder, whatever, if you are just doing that. Now, how to bring that video? Video has another video tag as well. We have a video tag in the same way as is there. So I have brought up a video.mp4. I'll just write that one, and again I can give it a width. Width is equal to 300. Again, why? Because I don't want it to be a very bigger one. Width is equal to 300. Now you see here, this is a video that I have embedded from my own, and it will run. It is a big video, that's why it might be just taking a bit long to just update. But I want it to run because I will show you some very important aspects of videos which you bring on that. So you can bring any video on your file. If you have a very smaller video, that would be good, because that would give you a good sense of that one. Why it's not running? Why it's not running? I want it to run because I want to show you some very nice feature of this video. Or maybe if I can download a smaller video for you, any cartoon video, for example. All right. So did anyone copied a video and ran a video that your video is running by using this video tag? Can anyone let me know if someone's video is running? Because I'll be just bringing up a small video there. Public says no, your video is not burning as well. Okay, okay, I got it. Okay, so come here and okay, just do one thing. Autoplay. If that video is not running, just give another attribute of autoplay and see if that is working for you. So let me know if it is working for anyone. Does it work for you when you have done that autoplay? Okay. Anyone else? It's not for public only. Anyone else? Your video running? I'm just downloading a video here. My own video is not running, so maybe let's see if I can run a Pink Panther video. Is it minimizing or something like that? Okay. So anyone able to run your video by using this video tag that I have discussed? I'm not getting any feedback from anyone other than Pavneet. Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, downloading the video as I'm also doing that thing now. My internet is again. This internet is also still not. Right. So, okay, that's fine. So that's all that we have discussed, and we will be just talking about some more fun in coming weeks, right? So thank you very much everyone for joining in. You can just put up a chat message, put up a bye message, and you can just leave. And as I said, your test one will open shortly, momentarily, and it will be there for 24 hours. So you can just attempt your test at your ease time, right? So thank you everyone for joining in, and have a good day. See you all next. Okay. Bye everyone.